Man, those tiles last week, they were cool. I wish I had more ways to make my dungeon floors look cool. Whatever shall I do? Welcome back, everyone, to Starships and Steel. This is another episode, as you guys can quite plainly tell. I want to thank all my new subscribers for hitting that little subscribe button. It's good to have you guys aboard, and I hope you find this to be a useful and awesome video. Last week we built some decorative dungeon tiles. I thought they were pretty cool. This week I decided to build some more tiles in the same vein but different. This time we're going to build flooring that has grates that lead to, well, I don't know where. Sewers, the Underdark, wherever you want it to. But of course, before we start, I was out for lunch the other day, and on my trek I came across a place called, can you imagine, The World of Whiskey, which is pretty cool. I got some of this. Hazelburn, 13-year-old. This is from Springbank Distillery. I've had their stuff before, and I've been quite fond of it, so I thought I'd give this a shot. This is aged in sherry casks, so also doubly good. You'll note that I have not yet opened it for you guys. I waited so I could try it on channel. So let's pop that open. Ooh. It smells very nice. Very, very nice. I've got a fake Scotch glass here. It's not really fake, but it's not a good one. Some in there. I got a little bit of ice because I like my Scotch with ice. And we will find out how many skulls of how many skulls of my enemies, that's what I'm looking for, this Scotch is worth. Put that over there so I don't drop it. Nice color. It's got a nice body aroma, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty nice. It's probably not my... I think I like their 10-year-old better still. I like it better than their 12, and I think I would like it better than this one. It's a little bit smoother. Still pretty good though. 3.5 skulls of my enemies out of 5. Sometimes I wish I had a 10 because 3.5 doesn't seem very high. 4 seems really high. So whatever. 3.5 skulls. Let's go over to the desk here and we'll start building. Well, before we start, I want to say I built this with the Proxon. You could build this without the Proxon. You could use a knife. It'd be a little bit trickier. We're going to take the base, the tile, and we're going to make smaller pieces of it to build a frame. I would use the knife to cut them in half when we get to that stage, which you'll see in a bit. I would use my knife after I'd cut those down. With the Proxon, I don't. I cut it before. But I would not do that with a knife. It would be hard. But anyways, go over to the Proxon here, and we'll get started on this build, and we will let you guys hopefully get some ideas from this and maybe add it to your game. If you guys build some of this or get any ideas from the crap I post online, feel free to leave some pictures below or on my Facebook page or whatever. So I will catch you guys later, and I hope you enjoy the video. Cheers. I've got a template that I've cut out to measure 3 inches. I'm going to open my Proxon a little bit wider than that so I can get nice square tiles, just like Black Magic showed us. We'll just run it through here. So it's a little bit wider than 3 inches. Once we get that done, we're going to reset our fence to be 3 inches exactly. And once we get that done, tighten down the fence and run our piece through one more time. Just like that. And we'll have a piece 3 inches wide. So once we're done there, I take a piece of tape and I mark out that 3 inches or however long it is, so it's exact when I make my square. Take my fence, rotate it 90 degrees, just like that. Make sure it misses the wire. And if my piece is not square, square it off first, just like that. Move it out to the tape mark that I made and run it through one more time, giving us a perfect 3x3 square. A couple more just for good luck. Drink some scotch. Now we're going to set our fence to 1/2 inch because that's going to be the width of our frame around the hole that leads into Never Never Land. So rotate or cut it once, rotate it 180 degrees, cut it again, rotate it 90 degrees, cut it again, rotate it 180, and cut it one more time, giving us 4 pieces that we can put together to make a frame like this that is 3 by 3. Perfect. So now we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So we're going to make it close to the edge, and we're just going to cut a tiny bit off of another piece of 3 by 3, so it's not quite 3 by 3. So that we build it above the 3 by 3 tile, it's not exactly flush, so it just sticks out a little bit, just like this. So that's the goal here. So again, we're going to set our piece to 1/4 inch, which is about half of the width of this. And this is the part I was talking about. It would be even better with a knife to cut it before this, or after this rather. So with the Proxon, we can cut it in half here. With a knife, I would cut it in half once I had cut the frame out. So again, measure 1/2 inch, just like we did before. Tighten that fence down. Take our block, cut it, rotate it 180 degrees, cut it, rotate it 90 degrees and cut it, rotate it 90 degrees and cut it. And that gives us a good little frame, just like that. That'll sit inside the 3 by 3 and be a cover for our grate. All right, so the next thing we need to do is cut rabbets. So we're just going to measure in 1/8 of an inch from each side on the small pieces, just like this. And we're going to make a line across that. The other one, do the same thing. Take a knife, cut in about 1/8 of an inch approximately. So once we do that, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees and then cut out the rabbet. So the second one, same thing. Rotate 90 degrees, measure in that 1/8 inch, just like I said. Rotate, draw that line. Take your knife, cut that out. It's like that, and out pops the rabbet. There we go, and that's where that grate will sit. It'll look just like that. Perfect. We're going to do that on both of them. So here's the second one, all cut out. And we're going to take those, and we're going to make that, measure that rabbet onto the long pieces on both sides. And those are going to be the extent of the rabbet. We're also going to make marks so we know that they're on the right side, so they match up properly. So measure it again, 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and draw your line. There we go. Like that. Rotate it and mark your extents again. It's like this, and like this. Measure in 1/8 of an inch, so we did before. And like that. And once we have those 2 marks, we will draw a line like we did before. Then we'll cut out this rabbet, and I'll show you a good way to do that. Once we get that, take your knife, cut the 2 end pieces first. Like that, and like that. Then we'll start at the edges and work towards the middle. So put it in about 1/8 of an inch, cut halfway, rotate it 180, start from the other side, and do it again. Once we have that cut nice, we will rotate it again. Well, flip it rather, so we're cutting at the side instead of the top. And once that's done, we'll just pop out that rabbet, which will give us the rest of the frame. This piece is crappy. This is not a piece I used. This piece was a piece I did as an example because I failed to record the stuff I did earlier. So this piece is garbage, and we're not going to use it for this video. So, snap, done, garbage. Let's go back to what we're doing. So once you have your pieces cut like this, we're going to glue them all together into that frame. So these are all pretty much done. Get them all lined up to your marks so everything is in the right location. And then I put it down on a piece of chipboard because it's nice and flatten everything out. Once I do that, I get some grating plastic mesh, and I measure the size of my hole. And I transfer that to the mesh, and I cut out my mesh to the appropriate size, just like that. And if it doesn't quite come out, just finish that cut off so that it's good. Scotch. Make sure it fits in your hole. Trim it to size if it does not. Now we're going to go in if there's any extra glue on the inside because we want a nice smooth ridge. Cut that out. Take your hot glue and run a bead around the entire lip just like this. Looking pretty good. Once that's done, take your mesh, glue that in place. Perfect. Looking good. So we're going to do some texturing here. I'm going to take the 1/2 inch template we have, and we're going to use that to mark the foam where there's no cuts. So we have 1/2 inch corner bricks like we had last week on the decorative tiles. And just places we don't have them, both sides, just like that. You can see how they look there. And we're going to take our top frame. We're going to glue those in place now, just like that. And make sure you line these up on the piece so they're like bricks, so you overlap the cut areas. Glue that on like that. Make sure you get the edges. I didn't do that very well in the last one because it's actually going to stick on the edge. So use one of the small pieces that we had cut just to measure so that the right width apart. And then glue those in place too. Just like that. Take the other one, do the same thing. Now you have a basic piece ready to go. So the next step is take your knife and just go through and mark your bricks wherever you want them. I did the 1/2 inch corner pieces. Oh, a little tear out there. That's okay. It'll make the bricks or the stone look a little bit more worn. Same thing there. Bricks in the middle. Like that. Looking pretty good. You can look pretty good just like that. And once you get these done, come back in with that knife. Maybe make some cracks. I'm going to fire down the sides here. You do this on all 4 sides too, not just this side. Get all your bricks good. It's like that. These will match the ones we did last week, like I said, in terms of the brick layout anyways. So again, come back in like I was saying, make some cracks. So like this. This on all 4 sides or all 3 sides or whatever you want to do. Make it look beat up and worn, but don't overdo it because it shouldn't be overdone. Then take a pen, just go over those lines again, just give them a little bit more relief. Hit the cracks as well. Go over the whole thing. I cut a lot of this out because it's kind of boring. So once you get that done, hit it with black, and then I hit it with a slate over top of that. With that, I took a sponge and a dark black slate kind of mix, and I went over top of it to give it a bit of a different texture. Same thing with the storm cloud gray. And then with a bit of smoke, these are all sponge painted on. It's just different layers. Then I hit it with a little bit of white, progressively less paint as I went. Then I took some silver paint and I added it to the grate to give it some more color. And then I hit it with a black wash to bring down the tone. And once we did that, we were done. And this is kind of what it looks like on the table with some of those decorative tiles. I think it turned out pretty well. They're pretty fast little builds and give you a lot of character and a lot of ideas for your adventures. So if you liked the video and thought these would be useful for your table, of course, please click like. If you want to see more content, and I'm releasing content weekly, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get notifications, don't forget to click that little bell. And as always, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, I think I'm even on Twitter these days. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. And I'll see you guys next week on Starships and Steel.